There's not one single way to play Ultimate Team. It really comes down to what you really want to do. Some of you like being competitive, where you go through Division Rivals and Champions. Others don't like being competitive, in which they like to go through squad battles. And today, we're taking a different approach, and we are going to be looking at the laziest way to play Ultimate Team, whilst it's still being rewarding. But before we do get into the video, if you do want to be extremely lazy, whilst also reaping the benefits, then there is no better place than U4GM. They offer cheap, fast and reliable FC24 coins. There is a link in the description down below. And if you use code Fanatic at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Thank you U4GM for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back into it. With the way in which we want to go through the laziest way to play Ultimate Team, it is still worth playing through Gamemodes. But with how many there are and how much time you need to dedicate to each, it's not worth going through every single one of them. We are going to focus on just a few. Firstly, it's still worth going through Division Rivals. Reason for this is because in order for you to get a reward, you don't need to do too much on a weekly basis. If you could just get one win a day, you'll always qualify for the highest possible reward that's available within your division. That's because you need at least 3 wins in order for you to first initially qualify for a reward and 7 wins for you to max it out. Now this does get better the higher division you are, but in most cases it's not worth continuously playing in order for you to be promoted to the next division for you to increase your reward. So just take the time each week to make sure that you get at least 3 wins to qualify for a reward, max it out at 7 wins if you have the time to do so, and then also make sure that you're trying to get 1,250 qualification points. If this is your first time going through Ultimate Team and you haven't been able to enter into Champions as of yet, then getting your initial 1,250 qualification points can take some time. That's because in Division 10, you're rewarded next to nothing. But when you get promoted into some of the higher divisions, it becomes a lot easier. Once you do have 1,250 qualification points, it's also worth going into Champions, where we have the playoffs and finals. For this, it's also still worth playing. But with the Champions playoffs, all you need is to get 4 wins, and you have 10 games in total. And the cool thing with Champions playoff is that you will be rewarded 4 points per win, and you'll be rewarded 1 point for a loss. So if you get 4 wins, that'll give you 16 points, which isn't actually enough for you to qualify. But because you have another 6 games left, you can forfeit those games by going in, scoring an own goal, and then quitting, and you'll still be rewarded with a point, taking you all the way past 20 for you to qualify for the finals. And once you get into the finals, if we weren't trying to be lazy whilst going through this, I would say sit there and play all 20 games. But just like what we went through with the Champions playoffs, you will be rewarded 4 points for a win, and you'll also be rewarded 1 point for a loss. So you can go through this with the intent to forfeit every single game. But the thing is, you won't end 0 and 20, because as you start to forfeit your games, eventually you'll come up to other players doing the exact same thing. And this is where you have a bit of a choice. You can go through still with the intent to forfeit every single game, and there will be times where someone forfeits before you, and you could potentially claim a few wins every single weekend league, and that will help you get to some of the slightly higher ranks to get a slightly better reward. Or you can do what many other people do, which is forfeit their first 5 to 10 games, and then that reduces the quality of the type of players you come up against. It's either people forfeiting or it's people not as good. So you can go through and get some fairly easy wins. You may even be able to find that you'll get into a game, score a goal really early on, and it does appear as if your opponent is looking to play, but as you get your goal, they'll immediately quit. That way you get the best of both worlds, where you're not having to sit there and play 20 games, which are a complete sweat fest, and also typically slow and sluggish gameplay over the weekends, but you are able to go through, you forfeit a few, so that already takes half the time away, and for your remaining games, it's likely not going to go to the full 90 minutes. Assuming that you are a confident player and that you are able to go through, get some goals, and play to a fairly decent level. And this is all you need to do in terms of gameplay every single week. Really not too much. But if you're really wanting to get ahead on top of things while still being lazy, it's worth trading. And there's 3 different trading methods that you can use as part of being lazy within Ultimate Team. Firstly, we have sniping. Sniping is one of those methods where you do still need to actively play Ultimate Team, but you don't really need to have this technical know-how of how to trade. All you're doing is finding players at their lowest buy now, taking a couple hundred coins away, setting that as a new buy now, but every single time that you search the transfer market, it's going to come up with the message 9 times out of 10 saying that there is nothing that fits these parameters, adjust them so that you can actually find potential players to buy. You're going to accept that message and then immediately search again, whilst continuously updating the market by adjusting the price. You do this quick enough and long enough, eventually there will be a player that is listed onto the transfer market that fits those parameters, and you're going to quickly buy them. This is a numbers game more than anything else, because the chances of you just going to the transfer market and searching for you to come across a great deal is extremely unlikely. But what you're relying on is that you're going to be doing this long enough and you're going to be consistent with it, that eventually there is a player that fits those parameters in order for you to quickly snipe that player and then list them back onto the transfer market, but for a higher price. Now, the best way to do this is not to focus for one individual player, but to focus on groups of players, maybe a full league, a full team, a team nationality, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're looking for a group of players that all have a similar price, and then you're able to take a couple hundred coins away so that if anything does pop up within that bracket, you're able to buy them, list them back onto the transfer market. But as said, with this one, you do need to actively be on Ultimate Team, as you need to constantly keep on searching. But it is a lazy one because you don't really need to do anything special in terms of knowing how to trade. The other one, in my opinion, is better, and this is bulk bidding. With bulk bidding, yet again, you're looking for a player and you're trying to find the lowest buy now. Once you do that, you're going to take a couple hundred coins away, but this time you're going to apply it to the max bid. Now you're going to go through and you're going to bid on every single one of that player's card at that price. Now, you'll know you have a good player is if you can search the transfer market, go across 50, which will max out your watch list, and then all to expire within the next 10 minutes. You'll also know if it's a good player to continuously keep on trading if you can win more than 50%, and most of them will sell within the first hour. With this, you do need to do a bit of trial and error as you keep on testing a variety of different players, listing them, seeing how quickly they sell, and then start to build a list of players that you know you can always go to. But with this one, you do only need to spend just a few minutes for you to find a player, max out your watch list or keep on bidding until you run out of coins, and then wait. If you really want to, you can go into the games which we mentioned earlier, or you can stop playing. For the longest time, I would spend 5 minutes bulk bidding on players, put my controller down and edit videos. I'll spend 20 minutes editing, then go back to my console, see that I've been able to win a few trades, list them, spend another few minutes bidding, and then go back to editing again for another 20 minutes. Keep that continuously going. And then finally, the last trading method that's really useful to go and use whilst going through Ultimate Team in the laziest way possible is a bronze pack method. I do still recommend that you go through the previous methods first so that you can build up your coin balance, but once you get to around 100,000 coins, you have more than enough for you to continuously keep on going through the bronze pack method. Just head over to the store, go down to classic packs, select the 750 coin bronze pack and purchase it. The chance of you making profit from a single pack is unlikely, but if you keep on doing this over and over again, eventually you will start to be able to balance things out, even make a profit. For the players that do sell, you will list them onto the transfer market. Now, for the players that don't sell, you are going to send them to your club. And the idea is that with the players that do sell, they will eventually pay for the pack itself and potentially, as said, will put you in profit. But with all the players that you send to your club, that's what's left over. And you'll be able to build your club with the bronze pack method, use all of those bronze players into SBCs, whether or not you're trying to go through the likes of marquee matchups or any other type of SBCs, or you can go through the traditional route, which is going through the bronze upgrade, silver upgrades, and then gold upgrades. It's a long process and it's not the most profitable method ever, but it is extremely lazy, as all you need to do is open bronze packs and then throw players through SBCs. And you will get something good. But this in itself is the laziest way to play Ultimate Team, whilst it's still being rewarding. Of course, you can start to take away things from this, so not playing the likes of champions or not doing some of the trading methods, but then you're not going to be able to get as much. This really was us looking at a way in which you can still progress Ultimate Team more and better than most other players, whilst not having to completely sweat it out for every single game mode and every possible trading method. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm sure you'll love our next one. That one has been specifically selected just for you. So click that and I'll be over there to guide you through absolutely everything. I hope you enjoy.